Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM23 Lions. This is episode 41. Bad news to start the season. There was no training upgrades. I'm starting to believe, because right off the bat, Germay picked up one training point. He's had enough points year after year after year since then, guaranteed in 2 of the last 3 seasons, as he was top 10 in the entire world, and yet the training structure remains at a 5. It's just not going up for Eritrea. I'm starting to wonder if each rider can only trigger 1 point of increase in training structure, and that it takes the system, it takes more riders in the pool to get each successive point. And that if we were to get somebody in, say, the top 50 Eritrean rider, that is, that we could see Eritrea gain another point, even though Germay is in the top 10 and we're not seeing that upgrade. It's a hunch. I have no idea. It's just a hypothesis. We could see if something were to happen. If we do manage to get somebody in the top 50 this year and suddenly Eritrea gains another trading point, maybe, just maybe, I'm onto something. But long term, with him still in the top 10, you never know for sure. Anyway, negative event that has happened to us is that 2 of our signings, our scouts did not get right, and that we are seeing a regression of their potential. In the case of Beniam Messias, from a 4.5 potential all the way down to a 3. Ansa, just a slight drop from a 4 overall to a 3.5. But just how bad that's going to break down the web of those 2, I guess let's find out. Ansa does look a little bit weaker on the web, same basic profile, but I think we were a little bit off on judging his quality. Benziamanis, same sort of thing. He didn't. I think their potential looks the same. It's more just how rapid they're going to be in development. I don't know. It's weird how that works. Or this will just update later and suddenly the guy has no potential at all. He's 3 stars already, and his potential is 3 stars, so he's not going to progress at all. Well, I mean, he's got a good 9 points, 8 points just in Mountain alone that he's supposed to be picking up, and then that also translates to Medium Mountain, and that's about 6 points in Hills. Where are those points all going to go? He's not going to be a 3.5 star now, but he's going to get all those points. Like, since they changed the model on growth for the riders, it was last year, right? Since they've changed that, there's a few question marks that you're kind of left with, because if he reaches his potential, then he's going to be a much better than 3 stars. I guess we'll wait and see. He's got a 2-year contract. We put him on 2-year contract. No, 28, 29, 30, 3-year contract for Beniam Messias. He was definitely one of the key signings for the year, so disappointed to see that. He was definitely one of my 2 or 3 top guys that I was after. We're coming off 3 straight episodes of alternative content, from signings to where we were sitting in comparison to others for potential of promotion, to down the stretch and it still being really close, really tight, and rather worrying. And I have not judged this well for Benziamanis at all, but we'll try to give him whatever high effort he can manage the rest of the way and focus on somebody else, because I did not quite get things right when it came to Benziamanis. He's 6th at the finish line, definitely down on time with poorly managed time trial effort. We'll try a little bit closer with Johannes Dalek. This is, as promised, more racing. This is a race we don't need. Ouch, -4. Shimway coming in, though, at least with something a little bit nicer. Attacking the line. First place for Johannes Dalek. There you go. Okay, I'm just about to set up. 3 episodes of, I think, 2 races? Sorry. Sorry about that. A lot was going on. In fact, this season, this January 1st, was the longest January 1st that I've had in probably 3 years in this game. Not seasons, 3 years, as in PCM 23, 22, 21, like all 3 editions of the game. I have not put in this kind of time on my January 1st setup as I did for this one, trying to get it right, trying to help this team, trying to set us up for a big year. Speaking of big year, as Arab going pretty strong on to the finish line for this one with that red bar running out right at the finish, takes third, 12 seconds down. Johannes Dalek also 12 seconds down. The Shimway is 12th, so good time here from the team. This is going to set us up for the one climbing stage. We are in Argentina for this one, the Vuelta Argentina International, and this race is not an objective. It's simply a 2 pro. It's the kind of race that is a chance to earn some points. But it's surrounded on the calendar by our key objectives. I'll go over those later. But this race in particular is one that it's just a chance to steal points. And even though we're not heavily set up for this, nobody has fitness peaks, nobody has objectives here. They're just coming out racing. And in fact, my preseason setup was those who were going to have the key races early on. I went very high for them because we have majority of our key races are at the beginning of the season. But after that, as Matt De Villiers, who sprinter, so he's 18th overall, which means last 30 or so are out on track right now. Cataneo as the leader. Mitziger is third, so being right behind him in fourth and fifth is good. That is a very, very strong time trialist that we are just behind. So there's some decent names here. This is definitely not nobodies. We're going to see a lot more challenges on the calendar this year. A lot more better opposition in a lot of the races. We're not going to be surrounded by a single guy who's competitive like Mark Hershey, taking all the wins, and then it drops off immediately after them, and we're trying to compete for the next position. And wow, De Villiers, you already ran yourself out of red bar while I wasn't looking, huh? 256 down. That's our worst time, but he's a 60 time trialist, so you know. From the end of January through most of February, our schedule is absolutely jam-packed, not only with races, but with races that matter. Races that either matter to the sponsor or races that matter because they are worth more points. We have virtually 2 at a time going on anywhere, everywhere. Today, we're at the start of Mallorca, and for this race, the objective, it's kind of a big one. It's about our 4th biggest objective of the year at 3 stars. 2 problems. 1, it's an unrealistic objective. First, they want us to win this race overall, and that in and of itself isn't too unrealistic, too out there, though it's our only win objective of the year on a stage race. But what it is Kareem's going to go get water. I tried to get Kareem in the break today. They wouldn't have 6 riders. Kareem with the other rider who was off the front but not yet caught up to the front group. As they were trying to chase, the peloton was chasing, and Kareem was the one working hard to try to keep it away. And so when he eventually kind of expended his energy, the field caught us, and the other guy immediately attacked again. And they let him go just fine. They sat up and said, see ya, 5's fine, 6 isn't. I mean, Kareem's not a threat. He's a 78 flat, but other than that, he's got absolutely no strength or quality. The other guy was a much better rider. I don't think it had anything to do with our team. It was what it was. How are we still only just now getting back with this water? Gosh. Okay, at least that task is done. And the fatigue is already setting into the legs. This, not a strong climbing team. The 2 stages that are going to be significant in this race, this being one of them, are going to have a big climb, but not at the finish. They're going to finish with a short little punchy hill. But you got to survive the big climb to get there. Speaking of, how are we doing on that surviving part? Yeah, we're hanging okay positionally. And we're about halfway up, but the fatigue's definitely setting in to some of our weaker guys. Let's gel up for them. Not to fetch water bottles. Gel. Boy, don't know where my mind was going with that. Almost clicked the wrong button. Well, anyway, from 5 down to just under 3. They're not pushing too hard, but it's still hurting our guys. They just either don't have the quality or they have the negative race day condition that's really holding them back. But Kareem is on his way back. Burhi? Yeah, we're sacrificing him today. Now, this group, everybody's 23 seconds down. Who are they 23 seconds down to? Gurmai. Gurmai won the first 2 stages, picking up 20 seconds in time bonuses. He got 3 seconds however else possible, obviously through some sort of intermediate sprint, as this is stage number 3. Still 134 left, and looks like Mohira has hung on. He did not get dropped. He will get some recovery here, but this is not much of a descent. We're going to get a second phase of it here soon enough, though. 45k to go. But they don't seem to have much firepower left, and they definitely won't be recovering, so they should be caught, but hopefully we don't put our foot down yet. I need that little bit of a descent to get some recovery in the legs. Mahira has nearly recovered his position and can get back to protecting Jansen. Down to a front 2, down to a minute 15. So we did get them pulled back a bit. We are going to get a little recovery here for the next few kilometers. And that brings a lot of the guys back into a nice working range. Burhi and Mohira, not so much though. Well, that is DSM at the front. I bet you that is Gurmai up there. He should have a jersey on though, so no he doesn't. I think his team just went and claimed the points so that somebody else wouldn't, is what you saw there. 11k to go. We're going to take it down to 10. And let's, oh, they've already used their gel, so from 10k out, that's definitely not halfway, but that's about 3.5 to 4k at the finish line that we are going to be dealing with of uphill punchiness. So we don't want to be going flat out. It's not a sprint. Little change of plans. Burhi is going to go to the back of the group and try to get the free ride. I don't want him to lose time today. He is our best chance at winning a stage, and we are ultimately going to have to do something along those lines, win a stage that is, in order to find some success here as Mohira brings us forward. Now we'll continue on a little bit longer. I'm not worried about. 101 left in the group and 6k Roteus here. Let's go ahead and get moving. Now that brings us out front, and we're catching those front 2. This is setting us up nicely, and we're already almost to the base. In fact, it's starting to ramp up just a little bit here. 3k. Final gels. Okay, Roteus here. 99. Jansen, 2.5k. We got 3 guys, kind of a 4th. So we'll go 97. You got your red bar. Offset any attempted attacks kind of thing. Burhi looked like he may not hang on terribly well, but it's 1k now, and we are perfectly positioned. So, Biniam Messias getting his first go. Benuna is not going to have enough to make the finish line. He comes up a little bit short. This, our B team, C team, whatever they are, not quite good enough to get us a podium. Damn close though. We did set it up well. Andrew Alonso ahead of Adam Yates. His brother Simon just announced he's going to retire at the end of the year. Lawrence Lastra, Banana, only 8th. Will there be any time gaps? Probably not, but maybe. It is classified medium mountain. That little gap between Jansen and the guys behind him could initiate some sort of time gap there. Yes, we did get a time gap behind Jansen. 20 seconds. It's not a big gap, but it's a gap. 37 further back, so that's gonna split the field. That is gonna split the field, and that changes how things are looking now. Lawrence Alonso on top, a few guys with some sort of time gains at some point. Gurmai was in that second group. I saw the yellow jersey crossing the line there, so he lost the 20 seconds that he was 23 up on everyone, so it only puts him 7 seconds off. He's still technically in this race at the moment, but that does bring us into a top 10. But in order to even get anything evaluation out of this race, we're gonna have to be a top 3. I think we're gonna be settling more likely just for some points, but we've got 3 guys in contention out of just 14 that are in contention, with 1 more punchy stage to go, so not too bad of a start here for Mallorca. Argentina, stage 5, I wasn't comfortable putting somebody in the break when we only had 6 and we needed to protect 3 riders, 3 leaders. And especially when our 3 leaders, all 3 of them, had a negative draw. This only being our B team as it is, it's looking pretty tough today to try to do something in a field that contains riders like Wout van Aert. So good luck to us on this one. Coming up on the 60k mark to get water one final time. Climb's not bad. I mean, we're looking at 5-6%, so it's really not hefty. It's not steep. I was a little nervous about the breakaway and their gap, as they were close to 5 minutes out, but it's already down to 3:20. Still, plenty of distance to cover, but fatigue in the legs of everyone is a little bit worrying. We're not going to really get any recovery, but over that flat, things might go a little bit better for us. I'm going to hold off on the water, try to hold off on the water until we get to the top or towards the top. De Villiers got the water the last time, so he's the first one with that notice about like, hey, I'm thirsty. Okay, just about to the top. Let's go ahead and take care of that before we have an entire team trying to go back and take care of it themselves. De Villiers pushing on, but there we go, over the top. De Villiers not making any progress towards his teammates, so hopefully they're not suddenly dropping back, and we're good. Okay, we're good. We're good on that part. Now, in terms of the team, our leader, Ashimwe, has literally the worst draw with a -3, so Johannes Dalek or Arab could be the main guys, but Arab seems to be struggling a little bit more than the other 2 are at this point in time. 30k to go, and those front 6 well in sight. Definitely coming back at them and preparing to begin the final climb. And we're still 26 kilometers from the finish. It may not be steep, but it's very long, so the longevity of it is going to be the challenge. Very much mountain rating for a long time here. None of these guys have a particularly good mountain rating. Let's hope once they catch those guys, the pace lifts a little bit, because right now we aren't going to make 5k like this. No, pace continues. De Villiers, Bitsimana both dropped, and the peloton very, very quickly was already down to just 61 riders. Yikes. Don't even get a chance to do anything for these guys. Do we want, let's see, 68, 74 mountain? No, it can't be Johannes Dalek. His big negative also. It's got to be a Shimway, which is ridiculous with a -3 race day condition, but he really is by far the best guy we've got, even under these conditions. Down to 54. De Villiers is about to drop. Down to 52. 9k to go. I mean, this is 3.94%. That's it. Van Aert on the attack, trying to go solo. And there's the response for the best riders around. Good news for us, though, is that's taken its toll on them and a number of the riders around it. Wow, that happened a little bit faster than I expected for Arab. Villiers has been dropped. Still at 31. Nobody else has been dropped here in the last little bit, and we're at 4k. Final gel for both of them. 3k. Arab hanging on, 2.7. There goes Van Aert again. He's really not who I'm trying to challenge right now. 2k. Okay, now we're going to go on with Johannes Dalek leading a Shimway out for the end. And you can see a lot of the guys just sat up. They couldn't handle it. Inside the final kilometer, Johannes Dalek is out, and Ashimwe is almost out. He can't push. He cannot push, which means he's not going to crack the top 3. It will be a top 10, but that's it. Orens Kjold has taken the win ahead of Tavani, Hagens, Van Aert. Only 4th for him, with Chago. Shimway gets 8th. Johannes Dalek gets 10th. Big gaps behind that. We'll see where that places us in the overall. Gaps are given even up to the front. As Shimway loses 15 seconds, Johannes Dalek loses 31, even though they both seem to be just about in contact, but gaps were given even bigger behind that. And so in the general, Johannes Dalek moves up a couple spots actually to 4th place overall, as Shimway to 6th, sending the Arab to just outside of the top 10 in 11th place. There are 2 stages remaining, but I'm not sure that either of those stages are anything more than sprints. Van Aert does not lead. He is only 2nd place. For Argentina, the last 2 stages are sprint stages, so those results should ultimately be final. But as for Mallorca, this is the last one that's going to count, and we are looking at a stage that has been just as insanely difficult as that last one was. The push has been non-stop from the first kilometer. Burhi with another terrible race day condition draw with a -4 started at the back, but from kilometer 0, I pushed the riders to get to the front. I always do. Sometimes I'll leave it on the default 70 when I do that. I didn't do that here. From kilometer 0, I pushed to 75 to progress. A few guys got there in the early kilometers, but the tempo was so high that despite a 75 and it being climbing and Burhi being a climbing based rider, I put him to an 85 to regain contact, and I caught it the moment he lost contact. Even then, it still took him 20k to regain contact. You can see that Karim, Ruteas here have both been dropped as they were given protection duties for today. Others similar. And this is crazy. We're down to 73 in the peloton before we've even gotten to the serious climbs. Now down to 69. Breakaways down to 5 riders, and at 2.5 minutes, and at this crazy tempo that we've had throughout this entire stage, I think we're once again looking at a scenario where very few riders are going to be left. Girmay has withdrawn. Points classification just blew up, got wide open. 64k to go. Now's a good time to get water for these guys. Who's the only domestique, I guess? The +5 guy. Burhi is very much not going to be the guy today. Or let's use him to protect one of these leaders. With a relatively small peloton, we finally lift tempo just a little bit. Allows the breakaway to pull out 10 seconds. It allows one of the groups behind to regain contact. Now a second one regains contact, and Roteas here and Karim are back. So through that valley, the tempo has lifted. Karim's not going to last, but Roteas here, if he can, give some protection. He's almost close enough to start actually offering it, but no, he's going to go out the back. Put him back to auto, Burhi to auto, and we are most of the way up through the primary climbs of the day with now just 4 guys remaining. We need to protect our leader. Let the other 2 fend for themselves. We are close to the top. We're back down to less than 70, and it's dropping by 1s and 2s on a regular basis, now to 60. Front group down to 3 with one more just a few seconds ahead of the field, and we're going to go climbing here again in just a moment. Those 6 riders do gain a few seconds worth of separation. And now the descent is on. We'll get some recovery. During the descent, we will get into our... Okay, it's all back together. 42 riders. And the recovery is very much on. Mohira's going to lead us out. Mostly just, even though he's got the +5, he is the guy who's not well placed GC-wise. We're going to be climbing fairly soon, so I'm going to gel up early for him. And these guys are all... What about the punchy side of it? Lost the wheel there for a moment. He's really good downhill. Not sure how he... Oh, because Mohira's got an 80 downhill right now. Stop others from recovering. Actually, Mohira's still somehow recovering, despite his 80 downhill and 99 effort. 10K banner. Here we go, folks. It's on. Janssen, Gel. That negates the first attack. Red bar is gone, so give me that 99 otherwise. And wait for it. The profile. Just behind my head, of course. The finale is another climb, but it is not steep. So right now is the steepest section. Right now is where all the movement is going to happen, which means we're going to get on to Jansen here. And here, try to grab on if you can. Okay, 3 riders are dropped. They are all negated, and we are going to try to sprint over the top here as soon as we can. O'Hara attacking. Oh, wow, Yates, so fast. How is he that fast? We had the red bar until just now, and he flew past us anyway. Too much talent. Too much talent for us. We were well placed. We set that up as well as we could. And those guys were just straight up faster. Small-ish group, 32 riders, are going to gain the same time. But overall, we're placed decently well. But this was a race we were supposed to win overall. And no, that has not happened. Not even close. We got all 4 guys in the top 13 on the day. They'll all retain their positions in the top 10, I'm sure of it, but no win. Looks like no podium either. And so our B and C teams have come out and raced okay. They've done all right, but they've not done enough. We got 3 guys in the top 10, 1 in the top 5, but with a win for our first sponsor objective of the year, a top 3 was the only thing that would even be remotely acceptable. So a top 5 is a complete failure. So we're actually looking not good on the sponsorship confidence through our first couple of races of the year. But we have this really, really busy calendar. We have not brought any sort of A team together as of yet. We certainly have not had good race day conditions, but we have managed to score some points at the least, and that's going to be one of the big things on the year. I do think that long-term, our sponsor confidence should be easy to get this year because we're going to get a lot of results going out and racing. Or are we? Higher level races, bigger teams, and we're already seeing kind of the consequences of that here early on. I think we're going to be okay. I do think we're going to be okay when it comes to that sponsor confidence, but no guarantees. And that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.